er startet mit einem Satz, der mir persönlich sehr taugt. See youth as an asset rather than a liability. Deswegen haben wir auch heuer den Kollegen Hermes in Frühpension geschickt und ich darf seine Rolle übernehmen. Er hat Journalismus studiert, ist aus Fargo in Minnesota, Minnesota, nicht aus Fargo direkt, aber und er ist mit seinem zarten Alter Head Director of Innovation bei einem wahren Giganten, also einem Riesenunternehmen bei General Electric. Ich hoffe, er ist auch schon da. Da drüben steht er auch schon. Er wartet auf euren Auftrittsapplaus. Er wird als erster diese Bühne rocken und dass er das tun wird, da machen wir uns gar keine Sorgen, denn sein Twitter-Handle ist @slammen. Also bitte heißen wir ihn willkommen, den Slam Master Sam Olstein.
Thank you so much. Hello. Hello, good morning. It's great to be here. It's a privilege to be a part of something so new and clearly is really gaining a lot of momentum. It's really special. This is just incredibly fantastic. So I didn't catch everything because I don't speak German, so hopefully everyone understands me. Fargo is not in Minnesota. I don't know if that was referenced. Fargo is in South Dakota, but it's a great movie. It's a great show on FX, and it's actually not from Minnesota. So I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes talking about how we see data and how the role of data has really changed and become the protagonist of all of our storytelling at GE. And it's because GE is a very different company today than we used to be. And so GE shows up, and we already have a stereotype. We have a preconceived notion about what people think of the company. And that really is this image on the right side. And that is that we are a huge, multinational, slow-moving industrial conglomerate. And the truth is that we're a very different company today. We are equal parts big industry and big technology. We call it digital industrial. And so we show up and need to, through our storytelling and our content marketing, change the narrative and shift that perception. OWR stigma, something I like to call it's old white Republicans. And again, that is part of the stereotype of the GE perception and our audiences and customers. And so how do we shift that perception? Well, it's a big challenge because we are a brand that has exited a lot of different consumer spaces. So for most of us who grew up and saw GE in our homes, either through GE appliances, light bulbs, GE Capital, there's a whole new generation of people who are growing up who don't have this understanding and connection to the General Electric company because we have exited these consumer businesses and gone back to our roots, which is our brand story today, and it's a complicated one. It's, back hardcore, pure industrial, and we're introducing all of these digital capabilities and this layer of intelligence that is shifting the productivity and operating capacity for our customers. So it's a complicated story. It's an important story. It's another side of the internet. And we need to tell that to the future of what our employees are going to look like, who's going to help build the next generation of great digital industrial technologies. And so it's a talent war. It's a big talent war with the Microsofts, with the Facebooks and Googles to find young engineering talent, to connect with people who might want to develop and build on this platform, build on the future of digital industrial. And we have a really fascinating and modern internet story to tell. And that is one of ginormous, big data. We dream in scale. GE is all about really big, impactful data that is going to change businesses for the sectors that we're in. So transportation, energy, healthcare, all of these industries are being transformed by our ability to harness data coming off from giant assets like this jet engine. One jet engine over a flight can generate terabytes of data. And so it's harnessing and understanding and serving up this data with insights to our customers, whether it's an airline, an energy company, a hospital, to use those insights to make better decisions and be more informed. And that is our big story of data. And so we need to find ways to tell it in interesting, unexpected, and compelling ways. And as I said before, it's a different side of the internet. This is data that is not just on our personal devices. This is data that is of a size and scale and scope that most people don't understand or comprehend. So what we try to do is we try to play around with different perspectives of what we really mean when we say big data. This image is from an Instagram shoot that we did last year for America's first offshore wind farm. It's off the coast of Block Island on the East Coast. And this is an image. We took a group of Instagram photographers on a boat. We called it an Instafloat. And we took them out to this offshore wind farm, and they helped us collect just amazing, amazing photography. And if you don't follow us on Instagram, please do, because it literally is just industrial porn. It is just amazing technology and big machines, ginormous assets in their pure form. And so we like to play with this notion of perspective around big data and what we say when we mean big data. What does big data look like? What does big data sound like? What does big data feel like? It sounds a little bit like that. What does big data taste like? Which is this example right here. So this is a 15-foot tall web-connected brisket smoker. This is literally what big data tastes like. This is a piece of technology that we debuted at the South by Southwest Tech Festival in 2015. And it's a big sensor-laden machine. So there are 7 different sensors measuring all kinds of data points on how the barbecue is cooking. And that dashboard on the left-hand side is a real-time readout of analytics and insights of the smoke velocity, the humidity, the temperature of the meat, what's happening inside the meat. And these are insights that help the pit master, or in our case, it's a pit chemist or pit scientist, drive to get a better outcome. And I said it's big. Like when we say big data, we mean big data. This is a snapshot from the invitation we sent out to the kickoff of this super smoker, which was part of a pop-up R&D lab all around barbecue science at Austin. And so I mentioned it helps the pit master get to a better product. And in the case of the super smoker, that better product is really delicious barbecue. And so that is what we do with the GE Super Smoker, is use big data and insights and analytics to engineer the best possible barbecue that has the most optimal amount of moisture baked in. And so that is literally what big data tastes like. And this program has really been a big boon for the company because it was a big hit at South by Southwest. The Super Smoker has gone on a road show. We take it to college campuses around the U.S. To recruit engineering talent. It shows up at all the big college football games. The Super Smoker was a set piece with ESPN SportsCenter in their coverage of the Super Bowl in San Francisco 2 years ago. And this is just one of the ways that we kind of play with this idea of heroizing data in our storytelling. Something that we also do with the Super Smoker is we play with other parts and elements of data around it. And so this is a station dedicated to data from your body and data from your brain and exactly what's happening with your brain waves as you're eating sweet, spicy, savory barbecue. And then we tweet or Instagram pictures and images to people who go through the station with their brain waves superimposed against those assets. So it's just one example of what we mean when we say better outcomes and a better product, and using insights to drive that productivity. And it's all about really the power of predictions. And at GE, at the center of this idea of predictive analytics and using real-time data and insights to drive for better outcomes is a software platform called Predix. So Predix is GE's operating system for industry. It is like Android, like iOS, but for very, very big data. And we are wanting to cultivate and grow an ecosystem of activity around Predix. And so that means the jet engine picture that I showed earlier, or a wind farm or a hospital, we want to get to a place where there are a number of different industrial apps that help the wind farmer or the doctor or the hospital administrator or the pilot make better decisions about the performance of their industrial assets. So GE believes there's going to be a whole app ecosystem fueled by this operating system called Predix. And so this next project I'm going to talk about is another way that we've built on top of Predix to bring this story of predictability and predictive analytics to life. Again, in ways that are unexpected and not what you'd think a GE would do. So the next project I'm going to talk about is a volcano that we digitized last fall. So this is actually the world's first internet-connected volcano. We partnered with a explorer by the name of Sam Kosman, who is like Indiana Jones for the digital age. And so together with Sam and his crew, we went down to Nicaragua, which is where the volcano exists. The volcano is called Masaya, which actually means the mouth of hell. So it's a really welcoming place to go and do some storytelling. And it's incredibly interesting story, an important story, because right next door in the backyard of Masaya is the capital of Nicaragua, Managua. And so there is a big civilization of people who are just in the backyard of this volcano. And about a year ago, this volcano, which has been active for years and years and years, but has always been from a vent inside of the crater. And about a year ago, that vent turned into a spurt of lava. And that spurt of lava turned into a bigger cannon of lava. And that cannon of lava turned into an entire lava lake. And so the city and the government of Nicaragua also had a very strong vested interest to work with us to digitize this volcano so we could understand exactly what's happening with it, and again, help other people make informed decisions, help developers work with that data and build volcano apps to understand what exactly is happening with this volcano that's really awoken in the last year plus. So how do we do it? Well, we put together these contraptions that were really built for the rugged environment. And so it was 80 different sensors, most of them off the shelf, things that measured humidity, temperature, seismic activity of what's happening in the volcano. And these were all put together in a harness of sorts that was, again, built for extreme volatile conditions, not just in terms of temperature and heat, but gas. The environment was incredibly corrosive. Even at the very top of the volcano, you had to be very careful of all the gases coming out of it. And so these sensors, this wireless sensor network was installed around the volcano, also inside of the volcano, which I'll talk about in a second. And we also used drone technology to take gas samples of particles in the air at different levels of the volcano. Again, this is all to understand the data, the health, what is happening inside of this force of nature. And so these sensors, these nodes of sensors, this network, were installed at the lip of the volcano, so at the very top. And this is actually where tourists are able to drive up to and see. But then, because we're GE, and we like extreme things, we went inside the volcano. We went down into the crater, literally over 1,000 feet to the very bottom. to install these data sensors. And to get there, the team pulled off this incredible feat of engineering, which is this incredible zipline system, which, if you can see from the very top, which is level 2, all the way to the bottom where the lava lake exists, is about the height of the Empire State Building. So it's incredibly dangerous, incredibly complicated to get a sensor, get a person, get anyone all the way down to the bottom. But the team was able to build this zip line system. So we were able to zip line from the very top all the way down. There's 2 levels, from level 2 to level 1, which is about 425 meters, and then from level 1 all the way down to level 0. To do this, there was a rigger who would climb all the way down and would install the kind of arachnoid steel frame system. And then once we had safe and secure transport established with zip lines from level 0 to level 1 and level 1 to level 2, we then had safe and secure transport to send supplies and gear and people in and out of the mouth of hell. And so that's how all these wireless sensors were distributed and installed around and inside of the volcano. We also wanted to bring our audience into this entire process, this entire installation, because it's just so cool and interesting. And again, it helps us change and combat the stereotype of what GE was and what we are as a company that is, built on data and built on predictive analytics. And so with this zipline system, we were able to actually send a satellite all the way down to level 0. And we were Snapchatting and Instagramming and bringing people into the entire installation process, which took about 5 weeks. So our social feeds for the better part of a month were completely dedicated to every day, every step of what it took to digitize this volcano. And what I'm going to show right now is a couple of video excerpts that we captured over the course of the exhibition. And so this, you can see, is just some drone footage. This is level 2. I'm sorry, this is level 1, and we'll zoom out. You can see level 2, and you'll see in a second where the team was set up to, that's the zipline system. And so this is a video from a Facebook Live that we did at the very bottom of level 0. And it was the best performing Facebook Live that GE has done to date. It lasted for about an hour and a half, and it was Sam Kosman and someone else from his crew, literally probably 20 feet from one of the rare lava lakes on the planet. And you can see it's very, very hostile. And this is all part of how we use data to be the protagonist and to be the hero of this story. And so this Facebook Live lasted about 90 minutes. We had about 500,000 people watching concurrently with us as the team was putting the final touches of the data network system installed. And so that is another example of how we storytell with really, really big data, and ways that we want to bring this idea to life with predictive analytics. How does predictive analytics play into the idea of an early warning system? If the capital city of Managua, if some other volcano anywhere else in the world, if we're able to use these data points, all of these insights to be better informed and understand when something might happen next, which is the same work that we're doing in transportation and in healthcare and energy, is to help our customers prepare and predict when a catastrophe might happen, so we can take our assets offline and make sure that there's no unplanned downtime. That is the future of our modern internet story. and that is GE's future of predictability and the future of the industrial Internet of Things. So I think with that, I'm going to wrap up and have some questions if there are in the audience.
All right.
Thanks.
So we'll be taking a couple of questions for Sam. There's going to be mic runners around everywhere, so just raise your hand if you're interested in having your own backyard volcano digitized, or perhaps rather more your brisket smoker.
Hello?
I'm hungry. I don't know about anything else.
Yeah, sure. There's one over there.
Is it on? Hello?
Yeah.
Hi.
Well, my name is Angelica. I work for a logistics company, and I'm quite interested to know, at the beginning you said that you divide the different functions of your big data analysis into branches or into functions. Because General Electrics is in health and loads of different branches, but the functions or the problems might be the same in different branches. Is that a valid question?
That's a great question. So, and I'll make it even better and more complicated, because GE is a very complex web of different businesses and sub-businesses. At the core, it's healthcare, it's transportation, it's energy. Our digital business is a standalone business called GE Digital, and it really is a horizontal that cuts across those core industries. Predix, the operating system, is open and it works across all of those core industries. It also has potential to be a productivity tool and help big companies understand their big data problems outside of our core industries. So we treat digital as like a horizontal. This really, it's our IT as a horizontal. And we're also looking at ways to extend into other non-endemic industries.
Okay. Can I just add something to that?
Yeah.
So by the apps you were talking before, it wouldn't be like a big data app for just health, but it would be an app for, I don't know, how do I predict some electricity failures?
Exactly. There would be apps that would be specific to a subdomain, a niche, an expertise, an industry, one specific data set. So, like aviation, for example. There could be apps for airlines to understand how they are optimizing their fuel efficiency. There could also be apps so they could help understand and optimize flight patterns and flight traffic. And so it all depends, and I think the vision is that the app ecosystem is quite vibrant and interesting and fragmented, just same way as the consumer app ecosystem is today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. Any more questions? We have our mic spread around the room. There's one back there. Yeah.
All right, I'm Manuel from Adrivo. What's the business benefit of the storytelling you were doing? Because you mentioned you had 500,000 people who watched the video. You were investing quite a lot in the production. But what's the goal behind that? Because you could actually invest into advertising, reaching much more people with less budget.
Yeah.
So what's the business benefit?
Yeah, so the business benefit is really showcasing the power of predictive analytics and doing it in a way that isn't, the expected kind of core industries that we operate in. And so really, something like this Volcano exercise and this Volcano pilot helps inspire another group of developers to potentially build apps and leverage the ecosystem. It also is a way to showcase the potential of Predix to other customers that aren't in transportation, aviation, or energy or healthcare. And so it's really designed to connect with future audiences, and it's a bunch of different future audiences, from developers to potential employees to new customers, even investors, because something like this Volcano exercise captures the attention of a lot of people and gets a lot of attention, which helps, again, further our narrative around the effect of predictability in big industry.
Another one
And
back
how
there.
much do you actually invest for the whole content story strategy?
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
How much do you actually invest to have this storytelling, this digital storytelling?
How much do we invest? So, it runs the gamut. It runs the gamut. Something like that. We were fortunate to find this explorer who was, wanting to take on this project and was working with the Nicaraguan government. So it ranges the gamut. Something like that Volcano effort, you'd be surprised. It's not as expensive as some of our television advertising, which does a very different thing for the company. So it runs the gamut.
Another one right next to you. Yep.
Hey, my name is Oscar. I'm here with Ecom, and we launch our new social media network on this weekend. And you were talking a lot about big data collected by sensors, but I also saw you are leading the social media things of GE. So I'm wondering, do you use big data created by the users and by the social networks themselves as well?
So I think the short answer to that is yes. We want to find ways to put data at front and center, and we want to do it in a way that helps, again, shift the perception of GE as an old, stodgy industrial company, and also reinforce that we're equal parts high-tech, high-industry. So we are big believers in taking that data and giving it to people through any social media channel, any communication platform that we can. Oftentimes, it's data that is either highly sensitive or secure or not, publicly available for the masses. This Volcano project is designed to be open source to the scientific community. But I'd say the short answer is both. Because we want to just put data front and center and open the access and the aperture into and out of the GE brand as much as possible.
Thanks.
Okay, we can take one more.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
My name's Mandy. So the question is, how much does artificial intelligence feature into the way you guide people through the decisions? Is there, I'm assuming that a lot of these enables the user to make better decisions. So I'm wondering how much artificial intelligence is helping them tell the story, helping them pick the best points to use, helping them with visualization, and helping them predict what's next.
Yeah, I'd say that GE is in the very early stages of the journey around how to apply AI technologies and incorporate that in machine learning into our predictability story and narrative. It's very, very early. I know there are many teams inside of the company that are very excited about what machine learning and AI can do to remove some friction and help people make decisions that much quicker, to your point. But it's really, really early days.
Okay, so thanks, Sam, for being here. Thanks for taking a couple of questions. And
Thank
give it up
you.
once more for Sam Olstein.
Thank you, Clemens.
Thanks.